Your mind is a tool. It's a machine made by God, created. And what moves it is the spiritual fire in your heart and the creativity. But anything that you create, almost by definition, has a counterpart of a loss. Creative destruction, Schumpeter called it. Creative destruction. And so, now you have to move through the next step. I mean, look at, when I tell the silly joke that the factory in the future is only going to have 2 employees, a man and a dog. The man will be there to feed the dog. The dog will be there to make sure the man doesn't touch the machinery. So we're really now moving into a world where we're not going to have those kinds of jobs anymore. That's the destruction part. That's the destruction part of change. That's why a Hindu does not want to use a wheelbarrow. Because somehow they understand that, look, by taking that heavy weight, putting it in a basket, and putting the basket on my head, and carrying it that way, the way my dad did it, my grandparents did it, is the way to do it. But you go to wheelbarrows. You go to a guy, 2 engineers in a diesel train doing the work of 20,000 people. 2 pilots in a 747 doing the work of 70,000 people. That's where we are now. That's where we are now in a world. We're moving out of the arithmetic 1, 2, 3, 4 to the exponential 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128. We're moving to the exponential, but it gets faster than that even. We are now moving not only horsepower, one word, and the horsepower being like a jet engine, but we are now talking about the speed of light. Not only going exponentially, but we're now talking about the cloud and absolute wisdom coming at the speed of light, moving at the speed of light. Now, it's why Psalm 8 says it. Oh, Lord, how majestic is your name in all the world. You created the sun, the moon, the stars, the earth, human beings. You created all their creativity. What is man that you care about him? I care about him because I love him. I created him. I created him to produce. Created him to work. Created him to see that time is linear. The time's going somewhere. We're moving from A to Z. We're moving from Genesis through Revelation. We're moving this way. We're not in some big circle of time where, well, we didn't plant this year, but we'll plant next year. No, you plant this year and harvest this year, and you plant next year and you harvest next year, and time is linear. Time goes on. So the Bible is very clear of what it says about the importance of time, that we should use our time wisely, and time moves on. And we learn that that wealth is expandable. It's not given. It's not fixed. There's not a fixed pie, and now the fixed pie has to be somehow divided up in some kind of a fair way. The minute you really start talking about fairness, you're talking a strong subjective word. There's nothing wrong with the word fairness, but how are you really going to define it? So what you really want is a growing pie, an expanding pie, and there's more to divide among everybody. And that's what a market and freedom does for us. It creates that expanded pie. Next question.
Yeah, Barry, I don't have a question, I just have a statement. I just want to thank you for opening my eyes. 35 years ago, I worked for a gentleman in Colorado paving roads, and you and Walter Williams came to our shop. I don't know if you remember that.
I do very well. Walter Williams is one of the great black economists in the United States. I would vote for him, President of the United States, in a heartbeat. And he spoke that night.
And you did too.
But I didn't speak like Walter Williams.
Well, you were young then.
Yeah. Just out of jail. Yeah.
You opened my eyes to the free market.
Well,
what that
thank you.
can do. And
Thank you.
since that time, I've had my own business, and you've shown me a lot this time.
Well, I can't tell you how I've enjoyed you. I mean, gee, a cold evening and a bit of a rain yesterday for sure, and other demands on your time. And this is the truth. My wife said to me, how many people are you expecting tonight? I says, Mandy, this is a Thursday night. You know what, if we have 2 dozen, I will be thrilled. And if we have 3 dozen, I'll be out of my mind. And well, we beat that by a long ways. And what's the count? 118. 118. You don't know what a joy. See, this took 1 million people. And some were on caterpillars, and some were making chains, and some were making graphite, and some were making brass, and some were making mining copper, blah, 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 blah. There it is, 1 million, 1 million. I get to choose something. I get to choose a little narrow band of economics and love for Christ. It's no big deal. And so he heard me speak 35 years ago. But you don't know how thrilling that is for you to relate the story back to me, and for the kid that called me from Montana the other day. It's 45 years I've been married, and I'm singing Jesus Loves Me every time. So, you young guys, do it. Do it. Don't hit the stupid button. Sorry.
Yeah, thanks Dr. Asmus for you coming out tonight. We appreciate it. And please do stay in touch with us at csma.nnu.edu. Our next speaker is still this month on Tuesday, February 28th. Peter Greer of Hope International will be here to discuss his new book, Created to Flourish, How Employment-Based Poverty Solutions Will Help Impoverished Nations. So the same subject, that's Tuesday night, February 28th. Thanks, have a great evening.